Back here with you. The A-Team continues on a Tuesday afternoon. Week 3 of the NFL essentially begins now. We'll send you into Astros baseball as we get to the top of the hour. For Astros on deck, they prepare for Game 2 of this series against the Rangers, try to create more gap between them and Texas, and maybe close the gap between themselves and Seattle. Adam Wexler, Adam Clanton here with you on the A-Team, and an opportunity for us to catch up with Houston Texans wide receiver and return specialist Braxton Berrios, partnering up with some locals here to do some good things, which we'll get to momentarily. Braxton, certainly appreciate the time. Hope you're doing well this afternoon.
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
We had a chance to talk to your head coach earlier today, and he indicated both you and Christian Kirk, who obviously were dealing with hamstring injuries. The expectation is that you will return this week. I imagine you are extremely eager to do so.
Yeah, eager is an understatement. No, I'm very happy. I'm very excited. You know, it's been too long since I've been back on that field in a regular season NFL game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
You know, when we got out to practice in advance of Game 1, obviously our expectation was you and everybody else that had finished the preseason and training camp healthy would be out there. You were not. Christian was not. And I wonder, was it super disappointing that it happened, but also balanced a little bit by, well, I know it's not crazy significant and I will return relatively soon?
Yeah, you know, it was obviously when it happens right before, right post camp, before that little break and before week 1, it's gutting. You know, you just went through training camp and you're kind of excited and, looking forward to getting the real stuff going. And, it happens. But exactly, everything you got to, take it down a notch, take a deep breath, and put everything in perspective. It's going to be 1, maybe 2 weeks, and then we'll be back. So just obviously happy that I'm back, and looking forward to trying to help this team in any way I can.
Well, the waiting game is obviously the immediately negative part of it, but then to see your team fall in excruciating fashion, by the way, in the first 2 weeks, just the way that they couldn't close out wins that maybe some people say could have been had. How much does that just even more give you the itch to get back out there and try to be a part of things and turn this season around?
No, absolutely. It's tough watching your team play, knowing or thinking that you could have helped in some capacity. I think everybody on that field is capable of doing everything. And, we put ourselves in positions to win, right? And, a couple things didn't go our way. We didn't make a couple plays when we needed them to, and that's NFL football. The margin for victory is so small, but, to be there, sit and watch, and, to really have that inkling of I could have helped here or whatever, it does add fuel to that fire. Again, I'm happy, blessed, and thankful that, now I'm back and hopefully looking to do that.
We're talking with Braxton Berrios here on Sports Talk 790 here on the A-Team. You and Christian and Jalen and a couple others were essentially working as the punt returners all throughout camp and all throughout preseason. The special teams had a night last night, to be sure, and specifically Jalen. What were your thoughts on what that unit and the rookie specifically were able to put on the table for the team last night?
No, I mean, they did an incredible job across the board. Really every phase. Obviously, the huge return by Jalen in the fourth quarter that set up that Nick Chubb touchdown run was awesome. I mean, he was patient. He let it develop, and then he knew when to go. He's gonna do that in the league for a while. He's a very, very talented rook, and there is no ceiling for him. So no, that was awesome to see him get that. And then obviously the blocked punt as well. I guess both those came on punt return, but the blocked punt as well, having Yacht get in there and Jay Watt scoop it up. It's incredible and it's awesome. And it goes a long way. I think special teams reflect a team overall. If you just watch a team's special teams and how they play and their effort, and their finish, I think that reflects overall who a team is. And, we're obviously working, to get better in all phases, but, that performance by the special teams unit, specifically, just goes to show, I think this is a very, very good football team and a competitive one. And, it's defense, run game, and special teams travel. And so, it's something we're going to have to depend on and rely on, as the season goes on.
You've been with a couple of NFL teams, so worked with a couple of different guys. Sometimes in sports, we'll say the team is a reflection of their coach. I think that's probably too true with Coach Ross. What do you think about your special teams coach, the energy, juice that he brings to the table that clearly seems like it's on display with the guys he has on the field for him?
No, you're absolutely right. Coach Ross, he's wired a little differently. He brings the juice 24/7, and to be honest, you love playing with a guy like that. His expectation is very high, and we hold ourselves to that same standard as well. It's really fun to go out there and play for a coach like that who's just so juiced on the sideline, and he loves it, right? He loves what he does. He loves coaching, and he loves seeing his players succeed. So again, that's something that we thoroughly enjoy, and like you said, you can see that on tape.
And similarly, you've been with a bunch of different quarterbacks. What is it about C.J. Stroud that might set him apart from some of the others you've played with, and just how is he as a leader? Because I know that at times like this, that kind of leadership can be questioned. He's taking a whole lot more of the criticism because of the 0-2 start. So what is it about C.J. that allowed this team to bounce back?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great quarterback, right? He's a phenomenal quarterback. Everybody wants to point fingers and say it's because of this or because of that. We have a very, very good football team, and led by CJ. He's a vocal leader. Everybody, respects him to the highest amount. And, we know at the end of the day, he has our back and we have his. He's a phenomenal quarterback. He's a great communicator. He can put the ball wherever he wants, and it's our job to get open for him and give him time and let him operate. So I think there's a lot of things that we have to do across the board to allow him to go ahead and be him.
It's certainly something that falls on the shoulders of the player at that position, regardless, and all indications from the 2+ years he's been here, handled it brilliantly, helped get this team to the playoffs the past 2 seasons, have even gotten to the playoffs after an 0-2 start. Did that 2 years ago, and that's obviously at least one of the goals for this season. I think I already know the answer to this question. I do want to ask you about who you've partnered up with here in the Houston area, but do see on social media, it appears you have taken a nice liking to this new city for you, our city, for our whole lives. What do you think about the city of Houston?
Oh, the city has been awesome. Coming in once I signed in March, because I was rehabbing from an ACL, I was immediately here. So really from March on, I was here in the city of Houston, and obviously I got my bearings right, and phenomenal food, great people. I didn't realize how big and how populated this city was, and it's really been a joy, and it's been a community that has really opened its arms to me. I knew only like 1 or 2 people when I first moved here outside of the team, and now that number is multiplied by I don't even know what, but it's been awesome. And now specifically trying to give back to the community was one of my things. Once it gave so much to me so quickly, and so today actually at Eisenhower High School. Here, right outside of Houston, partnered with No Kid Hungry and Fogo de Chão, and we came here and gave meals to probably 300+ kids. I got to hang out with the football team here for a while, and a bunch of the other sports. I know soccer was here, cross country, volleyball, and really just like I said, trying to give back to a community that has been awesome, and especially in some areas that might be more food insecure than others, giving them nutritious meals, so that can fuel kids.
Well, that's an awesome opportunity for you to be in this city and be able to partner up with a No Kid Hungry, like you said, Fogo de Chão, and also in the process with Eisenhower, maybe get an inkling of what Texas high school football is all about.
Yeah, exactly. No, they take football serious here, and they look like they got a great group of athletes. So I asked them when their next game was. So we'll see if it lines up. I might try to come out and cheer them on. But yeah, no, it was a really cool. I'm actually still here right now, but it was a really cool event today. And again, like it's. This city of Houston is so welcoming. So the more I can do to show my gratitude, I try to.
Fantastic stuff, Braxton. We really appreciate you sharing some time with us, and obviously the event itself with the people here, your community here in Houston, and hope to catch up with you again. Hopefully I will see you on the practice field tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good. Braxton Berrios, Houston Texans wide receiver, return specialist, and part of our Houston community moving forward. We have Astros on deck for you next with Astros and Rangers from Dyken Park here on Sports Talk 790.
The A-Team on Sports Talk 790.